Kia ora e Tiwi, and welcome to The Chew,
The Chew,
where we chew the fat of a random kaupapa. Anea hau ko taika maua ko kore ratahi.
Kia ora.
Coming at you from the town of Arrows, Arrowtown.
Ka Muriwai, Arrowtown.
And today, the topic we'll be chewing the fat off today, wano, is sayings or slang. Slang. So, we might be taking a bit of a dive back in time here to try and remember what we used to use back at school or back in the day. And, maybe if we get some insights into what the newer generation are using these days too. So, I'm a bit out of the loop with that, Hika.
Me too, actually. Yep.
But, I suppose I'll kick us off with the first one is way back in the day at school we used to use a term I'm not sure if you're familiar with, which was spelt Y-O-P. Yep.
No, never
which
heard
we
of it.
say yop.
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 Wow.
Which evolved into like jop, shop, jopper, all these other variations.
Yeah.
But what yop really meant, it was almost a derogatory term.
Sounds like it. Yeah. I'd never heard of it, bro.
Yeah. So when someone goes, hey, I scored 4 tries on the weekend, you just go, oh, yop.
Oh, wow. Is it to say I don't believe you? Is that...
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that was quite a common term used back in the high school days there.
Really?
Yep. So, hey, that might circle back again one day.
Yeah, one day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yop. And what reminded me of that is just up the road from your wari here is these Jop Street.
Oh, yes.
J-O-P.
Yeah.
So when me and the missus drove past, we looked at each other and just went, Jop?
Oh, shit street, hey?
Oh, Jop. Anyway, you got any for us?
Well, I'll just start with the classic ones, I suppose. First cab off the rank, I suppose, will be choice. So, I notice people still use choice these days, but I think it came out around the 80s, maybe. And that was our go-to when we were young fellas. Yeah, choice.
And then probably a variation into choice as.
Choice as. Well, there's so many changes that happen over time. But me personally, I don't deviate away from choice. So the thing that used to make me laugh, though, was my mum would try and be cool. And so she'd go, choice. And I'd be like... Mum, you got to drag out the choice. You don't say choice. It just doesn't ring the same, eh? But yeah,
that was like one of our teachers. We were doing this play, and she was a person within this play, and she was supposed to play this young, cool, hip person. And she was English, so she had this real thick English accent. And anyway, being young fellas were, talking this cool young talk, and she comes over and goes, hey man, what's up in the house?
Oh no.
What's up in the house?
Oh no.
Yeah, so that didn't go down too well. But was that ever a saying back in your time? What's up in the house?
What's up in the house?
Yeah.
Not really.
Yep.
What's up? Yeah.
Yep, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
It'd be more like, what's up? And I guess the popularity of that probably for me came from that Super Bowl ad. Do you remember the Super Bowl ad? From years ago? Those, the mates, they're catching up and one rings them up, one's like buzzing the thing on the door. Yeah. And they do the old, what's up? So, what's up? It's another one, Whānau, in case you missed it. That's more American, but we were doing the same, eh? Yeah.
What would be New Zealand's equivalent to that, you reckon? So let's say they come over and said, we're going to do that same ad. We want you, myself, and a few other Kiwi boys in New Zealand to replicate this ad, but Kiwify it.
I don't know, bro. It'd probably be something like, sup? Choice.
But talking about sayings, you're actually wearing a t-shirt there with one of the most common, which was not on purpose either,
That's right.
Sweet as.
Sweet as.
Sweet as.
So, sweet. Sweet was out there a bit earlier.
Reka.
Yeah, people would just go, sweet, sweet. And then, for me anyway, is somewhere along the line, the as got added to it.
Yep.
Sweet as. Yep. I remember Matthew Ridge using it in a TV ad one time. And that's what made me really like the as bit to it, the sweet as. Yeah. So, I have a few T-shirts where I've used common sayings. The one I was wearing yesterday for the last podcast was yeah nah. That classic New Zealand saying, yeah nah.
Yeah nah, yeah nah.
Do you want to explain what the yeah nah is, bro? Do you know what it...
Oh, yeah nah. That wasn't on purpose either, I know. But does that go back to Kiwis just, sitting on the fence with everything? Because we're pretty bad at doing that,
Yeah, so the yeah nah for me can mean different things, right? So yeah nah is like I'm not sure, or I'm okay with both.
Mm-hmm.
But then I notice when I use it, the second word is the word that I actually mean.
Yep.
So if I go... If someone says, "Hey, bro, do you want to go? To KFC?"
Mm-hmm.
I would never actually answer with this, but I might say, "Yeah, nah."
Yeah.
And so the first "yeah" is not the answer.
Yep.
The actual answer was the nah that comes after.
Or nah, yeah. Nah, yeah.
And that's what happened. That's the opposite, bro. So Kiwis do the opposite. It's like, "Bro, do you want to go to KFC?" "Oh, nah, yeah." Nah, yeah. So it's weird, eh? We do yeah, nah, yeah.
Well, I'd probably use the term sweet,
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go to KFC? Sweet.
Sweet.
That's us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or that other Kiwi favourite, Māori favourite, chur. Chur is like that's a universal thing.
Yeah, it's almost like the kia ora, where it could be a hello, goodbye, oh, that's bad, right. Oh, that's good.
Yeah, chur. Oh, chur.
Oh, chur.
Chur. Should we go now, bro? Chur.
You hungry? Chur.
Hey, look at this lasagna I've made. Oh, chur.
But I suppose where did that evolve from, I always thought maybe it evolved from the word cheers, potentially.
Yeah, I would assume so, eh?
Yeah. Oh, cheers.
It just sounds like a classic thing that Māori would do, is grab an English phrase and then just
modify
it ever so slightly into something else. Yeah. Like another example of that is, oh, he's handsome. When you'd hear someone say, hey, he's really handsome. And of course Māori come out and go, oh, he's handsome.
Or pransome that we used to use.
He's handsome.
Oh, he's pransome. Maybe that might be the Taranaki dialect to the handsome was the pransome.
Oh, we did all of that, bro. Yeah.
Blacko.
Yeah.
Oh, he's Blacko.
Oh, you just... Now they're all flowing back, bro, because New Zealanders and Māori in particular, we come up with words that are really hard to understand what they mean. Because I don't know about you, bro, but when I was young, if you were called Plaque,
you're all Plaque.
It means you were like rubbish at something. Yeah.
Oh, he's all Plaque.
Have you seen him play rugby? Yeah, he's all Plaque.
How would we know to use that when, quite a lot of people don't even know what plaque is?
Well, what's funny is as soon as you hear a particular person say something, you know that it's in a negative connotation, even if you've never heard it before. So, he's all plaque. Because you got to pull the facials at the same time, eh, bro? He's all plaque.
He's all plaque.
And the first time I heard that, I knew it was a bad thing. Yeah.
I suppose most of our sayings are all in derogatory terms, aren't they? Yeah, all of the slang we use. Another one my friend actually sent through when I sort of said, hey, jog my memory about some old sayings we used to have. And another one she put forward was gravy.
Gravy?
Yeah.
Like a positive thing?
Yeah. That's all gravy, you know.
It's gravy.
Oh, that's gravy, you know. Gravy in the Navy.
Yeah. It's I guess it's similar to icing on the cake, eh?
Yeah.
You know, a little bit of extra.
Yeah, nail in the coffin.
Nail in the coffin. Yep. But you know, Māori, bro, we've got to circle that stuff back to food, and at least talk about my own experiences. I'm more interested in the savoury foods, not the sweet foods. So for me, icing on the cake doesn't cut it, but gravy, oh yeah. When you got a good meat and you're like, oh man, it's missing something. Here it is, the gravy. So yeah.
Got any others there?
Oh, too many to name, but one of the favourites being an East Coast boy. You know, I always have to bring stuff back to Ngāti Porou and the East Coast.
Here we go again, Wano, making those connections.
Yeah. So the classic Atabay. Atabay. Well, first of all, the word bay.
Yep.
I don't even know where that comes from.
Yeah.
We've been saying bay, and so just to explain, whānau, the word bay is just like a substitute for bro, person.
Yeah.
Any kind of any person. It can be used negatively, can be used positively. So yeah, you'll hear the combination of Ata and Bay. So you hear that a lot, Ata Bay. And this is a shout out to my nephew. He, when he was younger, it's not so much now, but when he was younger, he was the Ata Bay. He was Ata Bay.
Cheer, nephew.
Cheer, Alan.
Cheer, Alan. Kia ora.
Yep. Bucky. So I remember I'd never seen anyone start every single sentence with Atabay. But he had this knack, eh? He's got a language knack, man, I tell you, the nephew. So, you know, we'd be sitting there watching TV or something, and he'll do the old, Atabay, uncle, are you hungry? And I'm like, wow, that sounds so organic, and yet he started with Atabay. and I'll be having a conversation with him, and I'm like, oh, is that kid at your school, is he good at rugby? And he'll come back with the old, Atabay uncle, he's mean. And I'd never seen someone who can talk in Atabay start sentences. But yeah, the nephew, man, he was the man for that. So Atabay is a special. I think it came from the East Coast. I assume so, but only because I'd never heard it spoken outside the East Coast until more recently. Yeah.
And talking about bay as well, that I know these times that bay is actually used in a different term, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a term of endearment.
Endearment, yeah, like your sweetheart.
Yeah, oh, my bay, here with my bay.
That's right.
So be careful, Wano, you know, if you're up north and you're throwing that bay around, you know.
At a sweetheart.
Oh, here's my Atabay.
Atabay.
Oh, that's pretty unique, actually. So that's got to go in the Te Tairāwhiti slang dictionary.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not exactly sure, whānau. If you guys know the origins of Atabay, then give us a comment. I believe that Ata, part of that, comes from e tama or e tā.
E tā.
So, because that's Māori, right? So, e tama, meaning you boy.
Yeah.
E
tā.
Yeah,
Era.
so, yeah, e tā. Tā could be sir, could be shortened word for tama. So, Ata is probably, I don't know for sure, but for me, thinking about it, I think that may be where it comes from. If you know the real story, whānau, then
In those
chuck us
comments.
a comment and subscribe while you're there.
Cheer, Atabay.
Sure.
And, you know, that bay term definitely is quite a common term, even when I was growing up too, you know.
Oh, yep.
Yep. Even I've heard it quite recently too, with the turbate.
Oh, yeah, turbate.
Turbate. But I'm not sure whether that sort of come back again with, I don't know who the artist was that used to sing that song, A Bay Bay. Hey
No.
baby, hey baby. So
Dunno,
maybe
bro.
that's where it sort of
Ah,
yeah,
got pulled in.
yeah,
Yeah.
come back around again. So yeah,
Yep. No, but Māori have this knack of bringing in new words into the vernacular. So yeah, and they're uniquely Kiwi. Some of these,
yeah.
you'll see, you'll hear a lot of Australians using sweet as. Yeah. So I was overseas, and when people found out I was from New Zealand, they'd go, "Sweet as, bro, cuz." I'm like, "Oh, calm down, man. There's too much going on in that one sentence. Just sweet as is fine."
And I used to get that too, going over to Aussie as well, was, they'd really emphasise on the cousin, che cuzzies, in a derogatory way. So,
Yeah.
But I noticed with the Aussies that their word, instead of bro, is butt.
Is but.
Yeah, did you ever click onto that? So, we went down the shop, but.
Yeah. Look, good point, bro.
Yeah.
This is something I noticed. Australians are the only people that I've noticed finish sentences with but.
Mm-hmm.
That we would normally start those sentences with but.
There was a good butt. There was a good party, but.
Yeah. He's such a good rugby player, but.
Yeah. Oh, he's so hot, but.
Oh, I'll assume you know that, bro. Yep, fair enough. But that's not how we talk here. We put the but at the start.
Yeah.
Generally,
Yeah.
it's not how we talk here. But
And I suppose talking about slangs and intonations is that we're quite renowned to have our intonation finish on the up,
on the
on the upper.
upper,
Hey,
eh?
but.
And not sure. I'm showing my age again, bro. But not sure if you've heard of Lynn of Tawa, the character Lynn of Tawa, Jeanette MacDonald.
Lynn of Tawa, like
Yeah.
Tawa in Wellington? Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So Lynn of Tawa was a character played by Jeanette MacDonald, great New Zealand comedian.
Yep.
And she would talk in that intonation as like a stereotype of a, of a Cheryl type, So we went to the shop, and after that we come back home, and then we cracked a wine. We had a Chardonnay.
Oh, man.
And it was all so lovely.
Oh, that sounds terrible when you hear it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds like you're a 14-year-old young girl, who's really excited.
Yeah. Australian ladies, the stereotype for comedians do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Kylie Mole, anyone I'm referencing such old stuff now, bro. But Kylie Mole used to.
Kylie Mole.
Yeah, she was another character that was a comedian.
Yep.
And she had she goes, she just goes. That was her little saying, but yeah, they had that intonation.
Yeah.
It's a stereotype, eh?
Yeah. And other sayings, another common.
Ooh, look at that.
Ooh, what have we got here?
Ooh, I don't know, Shell, what we got here.
That looks nice, but.
Looks nice, but what are those sprinkles on top? A little bit of Daryl Kerrigan there, if anyone that knows that. No? The Castle? No. Okay, move on. Tell him he's dreaming.
But another New Zealand saying, which I've seen on quite a few T-shirts, actually is usually a jandal saying.
A jandal?
Yeah, handle the jandal.
Oh, handle the
Handle
jandal.
the jandal.
Handle the jandal. Do you want to explain what that means, bro?
Handle the jandal, I suppose it's handle the jandal. Probably, toughen up, I suppose, is the easy way to say it.
Yeah.
Just handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swallow some concrete and harden up.
I suppose, maybe getting whacked around the backside from the jandal, back in the day. That's probably why it's reference to harden up.
Yeah.
Whack with the jandal. Hey, just harden up. Handle the jandal, boy.
The jandal was the thing, eh? Yeah. That was the most feared weapon of an auntie or a nanny back in the day. The jandal.
Yeah, it's the New Zealand boomerang, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Boom. or the nunchuckers. Yeah, the New Zealand nunchuckers.
Have you got any other great sayings from that kitty of yours, bro?
Well, they were all the key ones. Pingers and chingers, which was
pingers.
used for money. But I have heard through friends of friends of friends of friends that it's now being referenced to drugs.
Oh, pingers.
Pingers.
Oh, really? Oh, they're taking our words.
Taking our words, yeah, thieves.
Oh.
Yeah. But back in the days, you got any pingers, which mean money, but if you said you got any pingers to someone on the street these days, you could be in some hot water.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's an undercover police officer or whatnot, you could be in definitely hot water if you ask for some pingers.
It's funny, because we had a lot of slangs for money back in the day.
Yep.
And it's usually because we were broke and wanted some. So we tried all manner of words.
Yep.
You know, hey, bro, you got any pingers? Got any pingaras?
Pingaras. Trying to moldify it,
Yeah,
right?
modify it. Yeah. Got any taras? Got any putia, bro? So, yeah, we would come up with any old word, make them up.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I recently heard one on My FM, listening to My FM, and they had almost changed a slang saying, which was not the one, which is now not the tahi.
Oh, yeah, not the tahi.
Not the tahi.
Yeah, I see that a lot, actually. I read it a lot online. Yeah. Not the tahi.
Not the tahi.
So tahi meaning one in Māori.
Yep.
So we're substituting not the one for not the tahi.
And one you spoke about earlier, which you could probably explain, which was known commonly to a lot of Māori people as hangi pants. We all love a good hangi.
Oh, we love a hangi.
Love a hangi.
Yeah, hangi pants. So I have to apologise, whānau, for anyone out there that sort of gets offended. I don't mean to. But hangi pants, when I was younger, it only applied to girls. So, and hangi pants just kind of, I'm not going to go into detail of what it means, but let's just say very promiscuous girls.
Good term. Good term.
Yeah. Hangi pants, because all the boys like a hangi.
Love a hangi.
Love a hangi.
Love a hangi.
Yeah, oh no, the hangi pants, yeah, and we so this is the bringing of the two languages together, right? We've got the hangi Māori and pants, hangi tarau. But then we also have ones like mimi eyes. Mimi eyes, bro. Yeah. Those of you not familiar, those of you might have heard of a tangi weto in Māori.
Yeah.
So a mimi eyes is the same thing. Mimi being,
urinating.
urine, and coming out of your eyes, meaning, tears coming out. So mimi eyes. Oh, there's plenty, bro.
And sticking with that mimi term, when you're getting on the drinks, on the shandies or the beverages, is getting on the mimi.
Getting on the mimi.
Getting on the mimi. And I suppose because it used to cause you to mimi all the time, so.
And because it's changed again from getting on the piss or getting on the pee to substitute piss for mimi.
Yeah.
And we got getting on the mimi.
Yeah. Look, and there's that change of word too, which could get you in trouble. Getting on the pee, right?
Getting on the pee,
oh,
yeah.
You
don't want to say that anymore, eh?
You'd have the wino doing an intervention with you. You start throwing that term around. That's for sure. Yeah.
So we've got. There's so many cool sayings from back in the day, still used currently.
Yep. So
here's the hard question, bro. Do you know what all the youngsters are saying these days?
Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit out of the loop. I don't sort of mingle or have any connections with any savvy young people these days. I don't go on social media that often, so I don't see much of it. But yeah, we had a little discussion before, and the nux was a part of that discussion.
Yeah, whānux.
Whānux, yeah, yep. And back in our day, it was the I on the end of it. So instead of the nux, it was the I.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What's an example, bro?
Let's cruise I. Yep.
Oh, okay.
Cruise I. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yep.
Nice.
you want to go swimming eye.
Oh, wow.
Not as it doesn't flow as good, but yeah, same as the Nux.
Yeah, Nux. Everyone should know the old Far Nux, or the old
Aunties.
Auntie.
That was off what show? That was that the Māori boys
The
over in Aussie.
GC.
Oh, the GC crew. The GC crew. Yep.
GC.
And the aunties.
Aunties. Yep. Do you want to explain auntie, bro? Do you know?
Yeah, so aunties was a term used for
not your actual auntie.
Yeah, not your actual auntie, but some ladies that you might find attractive. So yeah you see a attractive lady out there, you know, and you know if you're single and free, hoping she's a hangy pants, then you'll be like, oh, check out that auntie over there.
Oh, sure. She looks sweet as.
And if she's not good because someone's, you know, had a few too many waipiros, you know, they got the bear goggles, you'll be like, that's not the tahi, bro.
That's not the tahi.
That's not the tahi.
No.
Yep.
Can't find out. Can't let the Farnux find out about that one.
So you've got a young girl who's up to speed with all the latest lingo.
Yeah, yeah. I embarrass her a lot because I try and pretend like I'm cool, and it, you know, as is the case for dads these days, we're just not cool to our kids, but we make them laugh, you know. So I keep doing it wrong, but it's like swing.
So what's the swing?
Oh, I don't know. It's just, you know, that dude on the Penrith Panthers does it all the time. I noticed.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, straight into the veins. So yeah, but I do it wrong. There's a way to say it, and that's not it.
So that shawing sort of reminded me of
Shawing.
Yeah,
Wayne's
World. Wayne's World.
That's why I say it the way I say it, because
Shawing.
I do the Wayne's World thing.
Shawing. And then the New Zealand version of that I remember was off Brotown.
Oh yeah.
Pyong 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 pyong
Pew, 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 pew. Oh, we forgot one of the classic New Zealand ones that Brotown made famous. Jeff the Māori on Brotown. Mm-hmm. Not even now.
Not even now.
Not even now.
Not even now. Not even now.
Yeah. Classic. Not even now.
So any more that you know of the younger generation?
I went to Kurereo. No, it was Kia Kurehu, which is an immersive language wānanga over in Te Muka. Mm-hmm. And I met some young guys there who were trying to explain some of them to us, and I couldn't remember them all. There's so many. Yeah. But I only remember sacked it.
Sacked it?
Yeah, he sacked it. And it's funny because if you don't know what sacked it means, it kind of sounds like you did something good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nah.
Well, I
didn't
suppose
do something good.
It's almost like the stacked it, is it?
Yeah, well, I think it's like you dropped your sacks. So you sacked it. Yeah, you gave up. Yeah.
The old poropeke.
Yeah. So, that little conversation we had proved to me that you need to steer away from the newer kid lingo, because you can easily get it wrong and look like an idiot.
Yeah.
Now, as a sort of older daddy type, that doesn't bother me so much. Actually, you know, my sort of persona on TikTok, Vano. My persona on TikTok, Arrowtown Dad, is I make fun of myself. I want to go on there and look like an idiot because, you know, apparently it entertains people. So, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about Aotearoa or New Zealand and Australian sayings. So I know you're well travelled. I've done a little bit of travelling myself. Yep. Probably not as observant as you. And, you know, what about internationally?
Well, I can't say I picked up a lot of the slang, although there's heaps of that slang very similar to the Māori slang in Singapore. Yeah. I just can't remember it all, but they have this thing called Singlish, which is like a mixture of Chinese and English, and so they have really funny stuff that they say as Singlish that is like Kiwaha and Māori. You can't literally translate it because it's like a mishmash of two different
totally
languages.
different meaning.
And so the meaning can be quite different.
Yep.
But I love that about the Singaporeans in particular, because they were the ones that really brought a lot of the English and the Chinese languages together. But if there are observations I noticed there, I did notice certain nationalities have a habit of speaking in a certain way. And again, apologies if I upset anyone, whānau. This is just observation for me. Yeah. A real simple example, we worked with a lot of Americans. The people that I worked with were quite often trainers giving instruction, and so Americans in particular they have this habit of saying, "Why don't you go ahead?" Right? So in New Zealand, we'll say something like, "Can you click the mouse button?" Americans will go, "Why don't you go ahead and click the mouse button?" So I don't know why this used to annoy me, but it's you just find these weird things that nationalities do. I'm not sure why you keep having to go ahead and with Americans, but that was the thing. Similar with some South African friends of mine as well. They when they were giving instruction, they would say something like, it would always start with, "What you must do." So Kiwis go, "Can you click the button?" A South African would go like, "What you must do is click the button." And I always found this stuff really interesting. I am like, why must we do it? Are we allowed to, or do we have to? Are we allowed to say no? What's going on here? So, I don't know why I picked up on this stuff, bro, but it used to give me the giggles, because every time I heard it, I'd said it again. So I was giggling all the time.
Yeah.
Another thing I noticed that happened with the Chinese, because I lived in China for a little bit. It was... They would use particular English words that I know these English words, but I have never used them in like any kind of everyday conversation. So to be real weird, the first time I heard it, this particular word, it really took me by surprise. So, we had some problems and things were going wrong. And one of the Chinese ladies in English said to me, "Oh, Corey, this is so troublesome." And I was like, "Troublesome?" I'm like, wow, I know that word, but I can't say I've ever used it in any conversation in my life. I'm like, wow, that's weird. So I do notice a lot of nationalities use our English words that we never use. I never use the word troublesome.
No, neither.
I'll just say it's a problem, So, these are just sort of little observations that I've made from working overseas. And if you have any of the similar ones, whānau, I'm sure there's so many out there. But if you have, if you find that there's things that particular nationalities always say,
plug them in.
Tell us. Give us some examples. Another example. Sorry, Lisa. I have to raise this one.
Kia ora, Lisa.
Kia ora, Lisa. Canadians, you often hear them say a, which is no different to Kiwis. We say a lot as well. Yeah. So, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Talking
about the words, English words that we know but never use, I've actually heard a couple that our Māori whānau use.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. English words that you never ever hear.
Yes.
So one of them is usurped.
Yes. When they're talking about battles.
Yeah, usurped. I'm like, what the? Usurped? Yeah. And the other one was beget.
Beget is the one you always hear when they're quoting whakapapa in English. You beget. Oh, that's a classic, bro. Because
the only time you hear it is in those Māori conversations.
In Māori contexts, yeah. There's a few out there. I think remember having a similar conversation. I can't quite remember the others, but there's quite a few English words that we only ever use in a Māori context. It's so funny.
And there are two of them.
Yeah, there are two of them. Again, if you know any more whānau, throw them in the comments.
Any pet peeves that you have with people, with words or things that people do?
Yeah. I'll give you one, I suppose.
Ooh, must be a goodie. He's laughing.
Well, because I can be a bit of a jerk sometimes, right? So, and it's for my own personal amusement. So I'll make fun of people without them realising, when they do certain things that annoy me. So you always get the turnaround people. So what I mean, in whānau, we all know a turnaround person. When they're telling a story, everyone in their story is turning around. So it goes something like this. Oh yeah, I went down to the beach and I was talking to Joe, and he turned around and said to me, "Hey, are you going in for a swim?" And I turned around to him and said, no, that's too cold for me. And he turned around to me and he says, it's getting warmer. And then I turned around to him and I'll interrupt and go, is anybody dizzy yet? And they look at you and go, what? What are you talking about? I go, oh, nothing, carry on. So we all know the turnaround people, that tell stories where everybody's turning around. Yeah. That's one, bro. Yeah. Do you have one?
Yeah, I've got a couple actually. The first one is when people say no offence before they say something offensive.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, why are you saying no offence when you know it's going to be offensive?
Yeah.
In any way, so are you trying to pad it out or? Yep.
Yeah, looking for some sympathy or apology in advance.
Yeah, and it's usually pretty offensive what they're saying.
Yeah. Or the classic. I'm not racist, but what I'm about to say is racist.
Don't judge me, but
yeah, I'm going to say something really judgmental.
Yeah, real judgmental statement.
Yeah.
And the other one is a lady knows she does this all the time, and it's when you say something funny to her and she goes funny and doesn't laugh.
They don't laugh?
That's a travesty. It's a travesty.
Look, now there's a line you don't cross, and it's to say something's funny but not laugh.
Oh, funny.
Oh.
Why would you say the word funny and then just not have the time just to laugh at it? If it's not funny, then, totally understand.
Yeah. Just go, no, that wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Or, I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
Or, is that right? Cool. Yeah, one more of mine, and I make fun of them again, bro, when they do this. The to be honest people. Yeah, we all know a to be honest person.
Yes.
Whānau,
Yes.
where everything they say before they start saying it, they have to put to be honest. So they don't realise they're doing it, and what they're about to say has got nothing to do with honesty. It's just something that they say beforehand.
Like the Adabe, I suppose.
Yep.
It's the Adabe, but it's the to be honest, yeah.
It's just padding before a sentence, right? So you would get the, how did you like the match last night? Well, to be honest, I didn't think they played that well. So, not sure why we say the to be honest.
Yeah.
But what I normally do, especially with somebody who does it habitually, bro, is I'll interrupt them, once they've said the to be honest bit. So I had a workmate in Australia. His name was Jason. Shout out to Jason Burton, who was the to be honest guy. So he would always start a lot of his conversations with, well, to be honest, Corey, I had a great weekend. And after a while, about 3 times or 4 times through, he'd go, well, to be honest, Corey, and I go, stop, Jason. All I want is honesty in this friendship.
Nothing more, just honesty.
Just honesty. It's all I'm looking for. And he'd be looking at me going, what are you talking about? I'm like, nothing, carry on. So I play those games, bro, just being a bit of a jerk, really.
What a mean guy.
Yeah.
What a mean guy.
Well, I've got to make my own fun somehow.
And that's another saying too. Mean.
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 Mean. Yep, that's mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I mean, all of this stuff could go on. I think the other one, the real annoying one that young people use, but I'll be honest.
There's a few.
I just did it. To be honest.
All I want from you, Corey, is just honesty, okay? Nothing more. Just honesty.
Is like. The classic like. Like, first I went there and then like, I bought me a new curling iron and like, it was the wrong type. Like, so we all know the like people as well, whānau.
Yep.
I'm guilty of it. I'll use like sometimes. Yep. Are you a like user, bro?
Not really, to be honest. I'm actually probably a to be honest person, to be honest. Now you've said, I'm like, I've used that a few times.
Oh, I know.
Oh, what have we started? Now we're going to be real mindful and conscientious about the words we're using.
Oh, it's here's a game you can play, bro. Now, I'm a bit older.
Yep.
So I can play this game at our age group without getting all wound up.
Yep.
So you should play don't play it drunk because people get a bit fired up about it. But you should try and have conversations with each other without saying yes. Without, this is the rule. Yep. Don't say yes. Don't say no. Don't say yep. Don't say nah. No versions of yes or no allowed.
Yeah.
No nodding.
Oh, okay.
No shaking.
Okay. Affirmative. Is that a yes?
Really hard. Really hard to do because you get people that keep asking
for that clarification.
Questions to try and elicit a yes or no answer. And when you've played this game well, you know how to counter that.
Oh, yeah. So you're well seasoned then.
Me. So that's what you do. Yeah. So instead of going, yes, I'm well seasoned, I throw it back and go, oh, do you mean me?
Yeah.
Then most of the time they'll go, yeah. So it's a good game to play. It's hard game to play.
Yeah, they play that on 7 days actually with politicians.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we play it and don't play it drunk because there's always the guy that lies and that's kind of like an unwritten rule. Yeah. So what they'll do is go, you said it. And then the other person will go, no, I didn't. And of course that's elicit a no from them. And then, anyway, that's just a little game to play if you want to sort of, see who's sharper with the old yes-no.
Absolutely.
Yes, no Absolutely.
Is that a yes?
No. You're allowed to use absolutely.
Oh, yeah. Just it can't be any of those sorts of short.
It can't be like a yes, nah, yeah, nah,
Yep.
Yep.
I.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I, nay.
I'd be terrible at that, so I probably need to get some practice in.
Oh, yeah. I used to play that one all the time. It's a tough game to win.
Well, that's a politician's game, isn't it? You know? Yeah. To try and deflect some of the questions that's being asked by the journalists or the media. So
and just start talking about something that's not relevant. Yeah.
Look at this guy, seasoned. Who, me?
Yeah.
Yes, you couldn't be. Then who?
Who stole that cookie from the cookie jar? Oh well, that's a pretty good session, bro.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to throw it back to you, bro.
Sure.
Any last words that you'd like to wrap up with?
Yeah, if I try and remember this Wakatoki correctly, Hiaha te kai o ngā rangatira. He kōrero, he kōrero, he kōrero.
He kōrero. Yeah. Awesome.
So you can drop the translation in their e hika.
Yep.
And, thanks for watching and listening in to us whānau here on The Chew. Don't forget, subscribe and like, and please put some sayings in there, or if we've got them totally wrong, then feel free to correct us And yeah, catch us in the next episode coming out shortly. Mā te wā.
Mā te wā.